Welcome
Okay.
back to the Guildhall podcast, an actual play RPG podcast. This week we have the first session in the game that is titled the Reclamation series. So we'll start off with character introductions. So might as well start with Robert. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm playing Martin, also called Long-Legged Martin. He's a human, he's a ranger. He is neutral good, he looks like a scarecrowish kind of type. Way too thin, way too long. He's very young, about maybe 16, 17-ish. And he probably would have led a very nice and very comfortable life as the sixth or seventh son of a southern barbarian chieftain, who, if he hadn't accomplished something, and which was to kill a rather ferocious wild bear who came during the winter and threatened to kill a child. He killed it, and by that he suddenly became a little bit too important, and he realized that he probably at some point would have to kill all his brothers, who suddenly realized that he might be a threat for leadership eventually. So he decided that he didn't want to do that, and instead put himself out to go out into the world instead. He is a hunter, very accomplished. He smiles a lot and is actually very sociable with people. Often comes into smaller houses and buildings, travels a lot, those kind of things.
Rickard.
Yes. I'm playing as Grim Skaldor, your average half-orc former mercenary that made a deal with the Dayfey and became a warlock. No big deal.
Very common.
Yeah,
Matt.
it happens.
Matt.
I am Os, the half-elven sorcerer who drew his power from his blood and the wild magic that exists around him in the world. I lost my parents at a young age, got lost in a big city, grew up on the streets as an urchin, prefer to rob people who seem to not need their possessions anymore and I can make better use out of.
Jordan.
Yes. Let's see here. I'm Norexius Halthazar, Dragonborn. In a smaller place. When he was very young, around 8, he discovered he had magical abilities and went to study with some guys, some wizards. He spent a lot of time there researching and studying, becoming pretty knowledgeable, and he actually, when he completed his training, became sort of a scholar and student teacher, I guess. But now that he's 30, he's been sent out on a mission here to find information and scout some ancient dragon who seems to be taking up space in the mountain.
Garrett.
I am playing Amarithian Temerinus, and he is a half-elf bard who also grew up on the streets. He was also an urchin. Apparently, they just like throwing half-elves out the street, and they're like, screw you! But instead of stealing from people, he learned to make a living by being a street performer, playing various instruments. He was self-taught, and he made a friend in a mouse named Sir Godfrey. And he travels with him on adventures.
And Colin the Second. Colin.
He unmuted his mic, but I don't think I can hear him. I can't hear him.
Maybe he has a hardware mute on. He's definitely unmuted in the Hangout. I don't know why we can't hear him.
Yeah.
He's saying hold on, so...
Better? Aha! It came out of the port.
Mm.
You're
Anyway,
going on to 6, so yes.
My character
you're at
is
6.
Cyrano. He came from a long line of Dwarvish kings, but hated the lavish lifestyle that he lived in. So he set out into the world to make his own fortune, which he rather failed at. He got quite good at guiding people through the wilds, but found that that made little coin. So he returned to his home to reconnect with his family, and found that it had been taken over by a dragon.
It's Spider-Man.
And I assume this is the quest to now retake my lost
To
kingdom.
retake your ancestral homeland, yes.
Let's fight a dragon, guys. First session.
Alright, let's
Yes.
find a halfling and 12 more dwarves. We have the wizard already.
Okay. Alright, so, Colin Beta,
Yes.
how did you meet Rickard?
Rickard is the
Half-orc.
half-orc. Did you do a lot of traveling, Rickard? Your character.
Well, he's a mercenary, so yes.
Rickard was someone with whom I contracted to bodyguard one of the groups that I helped guide through a more dangerous part of the wilds.
And Rickard?
You cut out.
Yeah, you.
I said
you
Rickard?
did. Yeah.
How did you save Garrett's life?
Well, unless I simply stabbed someone who tried to rob him, I probably threw magic at that person.
It seems about right.
Simple solutions are the best solutions.
Wait, aren't you the wild mage?
You're so cute.
He's warlock.
Yeah.
Goddammit. I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm a.
As I said, we have several.
Garrett?
We have spears.
Yes.
What did you steal from Robert's character?
Oh God. He looked like he could do without a few of his gold coins, I guess. He looks like he could do without a little bit of money.
Oh, look at you.
Robert,
Yes.
And take a
what did
drink.
your character do when he found out?
Not a whole lot, but he then went into the wilderness in order to hunt him down just for honor's sake, and eventually found him. And sorry, what was your class again?
Bard.
And probably found him somewhere in the wilderness, dangling from a cliff of ice or something, and basically took pity on him and just helped him up instead of doing
He's not
something
that
more.
retarded.
You're not the spoony bard.
They had a longer discussion afterwards and came to the conclusion that honor was satisfied and fuck that shit. And let's go back and get drunk.
Okay.
I like that. Okay, we can go with
Matt?
that.
The next day you get saved by someone else, and you get drunk again.
Matt?
Yes.
Robert's character owes you a debt. What is it?
For showing him around the city we're in to find work and the good spots for drinking and eating. And does Robert like brothels?
No.
Avoid the areas of the. Show him where the red light districts are, so he doesn't go to them.
Is that a question?
It was a question, and then it finished up the story.
Did it? I'm
Rick,
sorry, I didn't catch that.
Me again?
Yes. I have to create this interlinking chain of
Yeah.
characters.
Yeah, I'm okay. I just made sure you knew where you were. You tend to forget me sometimes.
Okay. Why are you related to Jorgen?
Oh, wait, what? Like,
Good question.
which kind of related?
It's a general question.
Yeah. Related doesn't mean relationship. It's related.
Okay, yeah. I just figured how deep he wanted to go.
Fair enough.
Oh, I want to know how a half-orc and a dragonborn are related.
Oh yeah.
Dragons fuck with everything.
Literally, in this case.
Hey, one of my previous characters did fuck a kobold.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to figure out what it's called. Our siblings are married? I don't know.
Okay, so like
No,
your
that
sister's
works.
married to his brother.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
It's a very progressive
Matt?
D&D universe.
Why do you want to
Yes.
see Colin reclaim his throne?
Because if I help him reclaim his throne, I'm sure there are possessions that he'd be willing to part with in payment. So that way I can pass the savings on to other people. I can pass the wealth on to other urchins
You
to try and
pass
help
the
them get
savings
a
on.
better start in life.
Oh my god, dude, we really need to discuss our backstories, because that's what my character does! Oh my god! We're both half-elf Robin Hoods!
Are you gonna wear green and hang out in the woods now? Together?
I think I will.
We're merry men! Legolas?
Yeah.
Not to be
For the
confused with
Mary, I'm
Mary.
a man and I can shoot a longbow, so I'm with you on this one.
That is true. God.
I can pretend
Jorgen.
to shoot a longbow while shooting
Yes.
blasts of arcane energy.
Colin's character annoys you a little bit. He has some sort of tick that annoys you. What is it?
Colin's character is one of these Robin Hood characters? Or am I misremembering?
Colin is the Dwarven King.
Colin is the Dwarven King. Well. Yes, okay. He tends to talk too fast.
Got it. Okay.
At least for my Dragonborn ears.
Dragonborn are not Ents, Jörgen.
Garrett,
Yeah?
why does Robert's dog like you more than anyone else?
Because animals love me. On the street, oftentimes, animals were my only companion, and they just have a special place in my heart. And no matter where I go, animals just seem to flock to me.
You keep forgetting
That and I
sausages
keep-
in your back pocket.
And I keep bacon in my pockets. Bacon and cheese in my pockets.
He has nowhere else to keep them, let's face it.
Okay. Alright. Anyone have any questions for anyone else's character?
What was that?
Does anyone have any questions for anyone else's character?
Matt, are you my brother? Just asking the other half-elf that has a mouth that was raised in the streets.
He's your half brother.
Wouldn't that be quarter brother? No. Oh, God.
I was about to say, does...
Well, how old are you?
My character is 25, I think? Yeah, 25.
All right, you can be. Well, if your parents abandoned you like you abandoned me, you could probably be my big brother. And we don't even have to be legitly related. You can just be it in spirit.
It's pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, there's not many half-elf street urchins with mice around. Just saying, we probably have that little bond.
Okay.
So,
Colin?
Yes.
You have a ancestral item on you. What is it?
A amulet that belonged to my great-great-great-grandfather.
Is it valuable?
Make sure.
It's valuable to me, but I mean, it's made of silver, so I mean, I'm sure you get something for it.
Make sure you write that down.
Okay. I'll put it on my character sheet. Not weird character.
Ah, yeah, trinkets.
Rickard,
If they're a thing. Yeah?
your character took something off of someone you killed. Who did you kill, and what was the item you took?
One of the previous people that worked with me as a mercenary, and I took an old medallion of honor from previous service in a different kingdom. I saw you wince.
I immediately assumed that you were like, I took a magic item, but then I realized you probably just meant like a ceremonial thing.
Yeah, you know, like.
Okay. Robert.
Yes.
What odd skill did you pick up while on your journey?
Odd skill on a journey? An odd
Yeah,
skill
you
on a
picked
journey?
up. Yes. Since you've been adventuring, you picked up an odd skill. What was it?
Playing the pipes rather well.
Okay. It's like bagpipes?
Yeah, smaller than that.
Like a
he
flute?
actually, yeah.
When you're saying pipes, I didn't know if you meant like a wind instrument or...
Yeah, wind instrument more.
Okay.
I was picturing this ranger sitting by a campfire with this wolf
He-
looking brooding and then playing the bagpipes.
As I said, I made a very sociable
That
ranger,
would be pretty cool.
and he actually has picked up some interesting skills and lots of conversations with gnomes who were in the area, who were very interested in what he had to offer in the sense of fur and other things he hunted.
Okay.
And by happen chance, he also learned to play this flute rather well.
Okay. Garrett,
Yes.
you have something that once belonged to the King of Rordania. What is it?
Oh dear.
Did I steal
He
it?
has a king? Oh yeah, really has a king, never mind.
I
was thinking
didn't
of
say
cat.
you stole it.
Okay. I actually got my prized possession from him as reward for being such an amazing bard and minstrel to him and entertaining him. He gave me my lute, which I have named Lola.
Lola the loot.
Lola the lute.
Lola the Lute. Jorgen,
Yes.
who is the extra planar being that owes you a favor?
The extra planar being that owes me a favor.
Don't forget to write these things down.
Extra planar being that owes me a favor. It's a fae. A fae who is connected to the Winter Court.
Okay.
I honestly don't think there's many other Fae around in this area, huh?
Well, you're in
Well,
the
Do I need
you're
to
in the
specify
equivalent of
something?
Sweden.
Or is that
No.
good enough?
That's good enough. I asked you who, not what.
Hey Matt,
Okay.
you're looking good again.
What was the name of that
Robert?
king? Or the kingdom?
Yes.
Rodania.
Rodania. Robert,
Yes.
in what land is there an order out for your death?
It's actually around another tribe where I grew up. There was an altercation, and when I left, 2 of their hunters tried to kill me, and I killed them instead.
Okay.
It's not a large country or anything,
Yes.
but they and their allies around would probably want to get their hands on me.
Matt.
Yes.
You have something from the Nine Hells. What is it?
Could it be somebody's soul?
It cannot be connected to Legion, no.
Darn it!
I wasn't thinking of Legion's soul. Just maybe it could be
So
Rickard's
You
soul.
have a soul.
That
You
pact
have
he
a
made.
full. You have a full
My,
soul gem. He made a
my
pact with the
pact
Fae,
is-
by the way.
Yeah, Archfey.
Oh, sorry.
So you have
I'm
a
trying to
full
think of
soul
something
gem.
I would take from the Nine Hells that wouldn't backfire on me entirely.
Some coin.
Nothing.
Maybe
Yeah,
a
this
good
thing
luck
will
charm
backfire.
from a demon or something.
You have a full soul gem.
A full soul gem? Okay, I'll mark it down.
Okay. Siriano.
Cyrano.
Cyrano.
Yes.
Why do you know that Grim Skaldorm will never betray you?
Okay, hold on a second. Grim Skaldorm, that's Robert?
No, the orc.
Sorry?
It's Rickard the orc warlock.
The half-orc.
Half-orc
Oh.
warlock.
So, we've worked together many times, and I've always given him his coin when I have promised him, and I've always given him more work when he's needed it, whether I actually needed him or not.
Yeah. May never betray you because no one can pay that well.
Robert,
Yes.
who in the group do you trust the least?
That would be the Dragonborn, because of the whole giant dragon in the north trying to murder everyone. Currently, makes it
Racism.
makes it a little makes it a little bit hard to trust them.
Also understandable.
Jorgen,
Hmm?
why do you trust Robert's character the most?
That's me.
He has always been honest in my dealings with him.
That's actually my idea.
Matt,
Yes.
who in this world do you love the most?
That'd be my half non-blood brother, the mouse.
What?
What is your mouse's name?
No,
your
you.
mouse.
Garrett. I can't
Oh.
pronounce your damn A name, so your nickname was the mouse, I thought.
The rat.
The rat.
The rat. So my half not related blood brother, the rat.
Okay. So, Garrett, same question.
Mouse bros before hoes. Mouse Bros gotta stick together.
Okay.
God, this is gonna be a weird
We
day.
should have made Ratful.
Right?
Okay.
So this is less a party of heroes, this is more an infestation.
All right. So you guys have been sailing out of Deepscale for 3 weeks. You still have another week's journey left before you're going to reach the Eastern Reaches, which is the destination of your little trip. How are you passing the time? Serrano?
Play cards.
Cyrano?
Oh, games of chance. I like to roll dice.
Well, I like
So
playing
are you
cards.
putting money on those games of chance?
No, because I'm not very lucky.
Garrett? A Marthian?
I'm a bard. I'm singing and entertaining and telling stories, learning stories, hearing stories, and being very bardy. Because that is now an
Nerexius?
adjective.
You said Nerexius?
Nerexius? Yes.
Yes. Well, Nerexius Halthazar would probably spend his time reading any book he could find that he hadn't already read many times. So, sitting around reading dusty tomes.
Ost?
I am trying to teach my mouse tricks.
So the Green
Grim
Mile.
Scaldorm?
Well, I also play games of chance and share stories. In particular, I like playing cards.
And Martin.
Trying to tell the other people as much as I can while and get them to pay attention about how to survive in the Eastern Reaches.
Okay. Alright, so you guys, the ship ends up pulling to shore in Frusenholm. So
Bless you.
yep. So, you guys end up paying the last of your extra coin to the captain for the journey. You step off onto the shore. What do you do? It's your first day on the shore in 4 weeks.
I kissed the ground.
Am I broke?
It is... No, you're not broke. You have as much money as you have left on your character sheet, which might mean you're broke.
Your lips and tongue get stuck to the
Your
ground.
lips and tongue freeze to the ground, yes.
So I misunderstood the last of the coin to the
Yeah.
ship captain.
I just, like, you had some
The last
whatever
of the
you had to
coin.
pay him.
No.
I'm going to see if I can find somewhere to
No.
stable my draft horse and my cart.
Okay.
Frusenholm.
They do have stables.
Right.
It costs 3 copper per day.
Right, of course it does. Good to know.
I will be asking people around town where the best drinks are gotten at.
Is there a
Drunk
library
people
here in
are good at
Frusenholm?
Drunk people are easy to rob.
Is there a library?
There
Sorry,
doesn't
where
appear to
exactly
be
are
one.
where exactly are we heading afterwards? Do we know that already, or?
I'm assuming someone told you about his epic quest to restore his kingdom.
Yes.
So are we
In the
just
mountain.
going to trailblaze right over there and kick a dragon out? Sure, okay, fair enough. then.
Well, I do happen
Depends on
to...
how much Soriano is a planner.
Yes. Let's talk about that for a minute or two before.
I say we find a place to eat and drink and talk about a plan.
I like that idea.
Fair enough. Let's do that first then.
Hey, Scott.
Yes.
With my Wanderer perk from my my background Outlander, how much do I remember about the land around my kingdom?
What do you want to know? I don't know what that gives you.
I mean, basically, I have a memory for maps and geography. So, how many the kingdom was it built into a mountain?
Yes.
Was it okay? So there's only one way in, one way out.
There's probably multiple ways in. It's a pretty big hall. It's not a single hall.
Okay.
They would have built basically docks on the opposing shore on the opposite side of the mountain. Let me see if I can pull up one of my maps.
Okay. And what kind of are there hamlets around with which we could maybe set up as base of operations?
Well, since you guys have been kicked out of the mountain, it appears that a dragon has sort of taken residence and has sort of created her own brood with standing army.
Okay.
In the rest of the lands surrounding it, there are the barbarian tribes who basically every winter fight to keep the frost giants from invading their land.
Great.
Class. And also along the mountains, there is a frost giant stronghold that used to belong to the dragon, but she has since lost it to the frost giants. And also, on the other end of the continent, there is a wizard's tower.
Okay. Well, I say we befriend the barbarians.
Which tribe?
Okay. All of them.
Good luck.
Well,
That would be
somewhere to
really
start.
dangerous.
Let's start somewhere at least.
Yeah.
You can go ahead and make a streetwise or a religion check.
Okay. Would anybody like to assist me on these?
Do we have
We don't have streetwise.
What exactly do you say?
Tell
I
us
think
what you know.
I think Brat wants investigation. Well, what I would say is, I feel as though perhaps befriending the barbarians who live in the area around it and turning them to our cause could help us fight her armies.
If you befriend 3
Yes,
tribes
sounds
of barbarians, you make 2 other tribes of barbarians your enemies.
Truth. Let's find the strongest clan then.
With that, you will make yourself 3 enemies in one stroke.
3.
Well,
The largest tribe has the most enemies.
another quick question is, will there be any mercenary groups anywhere nearby?
Is anybody gonna give me? Is anybody gonna assist me on this streetwise?
No, I'm gonna give you wisdom without even rolling.
Okay, so the south part of the continent that you're on, basically, as the further south you go, the more civilized the barbarians get, the more they trade with outsiders.
Okay.
The area that you're on, I was gonna look for my map and then I stopped, so I'm gonna go grab my map. The area that you're on basically is the same continent that Rodania is on. So if you travel west all the way to the coast, you'll end up in Rodania. And then the further you travel east, basically the less and less of an influence Rodania has. And sort of at the beginning of what's called the Eastern Reaches, which is the northeastern expanse of the continent, is where like winter takes over, and this is where the barbarian tribes are and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So,
I mean, it's an idea. If people want other ideas, there's a wizard's tower on the other side of the continent. There's also, we could maybe try to talk to the frost giants and see if they would like to rise up against the Dragon Queen.
They are opposed to the Dragon Queen.
So, I mean, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
True.
We have very little to offer them, however.
Yes. While what you say is true, we have much of nothing to offer them, and in fact, they would probably become a scourge if they get a hold of the mountain instead.
Well, what I'm saying is they help us, and we scratch their back when I retake my kingdom.
Yeah, but what if their back scratching requires them getting the mountain?
That's
Yeah.
obviously not going to be on the table, but yeah, I see your point.
Or for that matter, if they just decide to stomp you after they're done helping you, or using your help.
True.
Which will be our help and kind of inconvenient to the rest of us too.
Well, those are my ideas. If somebody would like to throw something else out, please be my guest.
There's one way to unite the barbarian tribes, at least to a larger degree.
Okay.
There is.
Become make yourself one of the greatest and most renowned warriors, and they will flock to your cause.
Correct. So, single combat is what you're telling me.
No. But yes, that would work in a few cases. I'm saying kill one of the greatest creatures in the area.
So, the queen.
Which is not the queen necessarily, no.
Okay.
But something of large renown and danger.
Okay. Would we know of anything like that in the area, Pratt?
You want me to roll something, or do you just give it to us for free?
I've asked you to make a roll already.
Religion roll is still available for that? Yes.
Matt got a 9 on his religion roll.
I got a 7 on mine.
I'm just gonna roll if there's something to kill over there, which would fit the bill.
I mean, if somebody wants, I can assist them so they have advantage on the roll.
Okay, so
Really? Okay.
alright, so you know the wow, you all suck.
Oh shit. Oh wait, actually, is this Arctic environment?
Yes.
Yeah, then I get a +2 on this in addition.
Yeah, so you had 10.
Yay.
Which doesn't sound quite as much.
There we
Oh,
go.
hey, look at that.
Somebody
Someone is
critted
wise.
on a saving throw.
Uh-huh.
I hit the wrong button.
You might have other modifiers, I guess, for wisdom skills, but...
But yeah, that was a nice 20. See that pretty 20?
Nope, I
Okay,
didn't.
so the rat would know that you are a few weeks away from the winter solstice, and the winter solstice brings about literally the biggest clan meeting that will ever take place. It happens every year on the winter solstice. It's the Feast of the Long Night. Basically, all the tribes get together for a massive celebration. If you wanted to sort of plan something out, you would do it at that time. If you wanted to try to unite the clans against a common cause, pretty much the most common cause that they sort of unite against is the Frost Giants. And basically, if I can... Do you all see the map at this point?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so...
Yeah, I know a little map there.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
there we go.
the line I'm drawing here. This section here is the eastern... Oh, why did that not work?
I saw it behind the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright,
So-
let me
And
fix
how the
the
map is
other
moved.
Okay.
The world is shaking.
Look at the map, and it's gone. Magic.
There we go.
God damn it.
Oh my god.
I think we get the picture.
So
Yeah.
that section there is the eastern reaches. So the Silver Mountains go all along here. You're in a town that's down here.
Okay.
Okay. So as I said, Rodania is over here. That would be where Rodania
Yeah.
is. The rest of the Rodanian Empire sort of extends out this way. So every single winter, from about this point here, basically the Frost Giants descend from the Arctic. And they basically come down, attack everybody in all the lands, and sort of wreak havoc for everything. And that's sort of what the barbarian tribes fight. Every single winter, they set up and they fight the frost giants, try to push them back over
And
the
this
pass.
feast is
and
kind
just-
of like the.
Hmm?
Sorry, and this feast is kind of like a morale booster thing, kind of get ready for the
Yes,
fights.
and basically on the longest night of the year, they basically all meet together and they find the greatest warriors in all the tribes. The greatest warrior in all the tribes ends up being sent along that pass that's formed from the ice into the Frost Giants' land just to sort of take the fight to the Frost Giants. And then the clans sort of disperse and then continue fighting the regional battles.
Okay. So what if? Oh,
So I would say the Dwarven stronghold would be over here. That's what you're trying to reclaim. The mountain giants have a stronghold here. And there's a wizard's college here.
So Wizard's College over there? Huh.
Yes, in the mountains. It is
Great.
It is the lead college for cryomancy.
Well, let's have a chat with them. That seems fascinating.
Cryomancy,
Cryomancy.
cold magic.
cold magic, and giants made out of cold.
So
ID.
how about we take the head of the frost giant leader to the giant grouping of barbarians and use that to win them onto our side.
We have to kill a giant.
Or we would still have to kill the biggest giant around.
And
In the
Yeah.
middle of the fortress.
We should probably talk to the cryomages about protection against cold.
well, yeah, we could do that as well, but I don't see the problem with killing the biggest giant around. I mean,
I do.
mean,
It's
look-
not protection against the cold and the winter, but protection against clubs larger than your body.
Also, there is a slight other problem. We'd have to wade through a shit ton of giants to get to the biggest to the leader.
yeah, it's called practice.
Well,
See,
If we take shelter though in snowy caves or something, just wait from the pass us so we can just sneak behind their lines.
no.
There is no sneaking. Do I look like I sneak?
That and the barbarians probably wouldn't respect us as much if they didn't see the action. If they just saw the result, we could have paid somebody to do it. They wouldn't
Oh, actually,
respect us
that
as
would
much.
work because after when we have to prove that it is killed, we just have to then tell the tale of it, and the tale will then be magnified
But
by.
Naturally,
By the bard.
every good tale has embellishment.
Yes, but in this case, it is almost expected. They would be sorely disappointed if we wouldn't embellish and if we
The
wouldn't
m-
make a grand tale of it.
Excuse me, friends. The main army comes from above. But how many people are in the actual fortress? The actual frost giant fortress.
I mean, if they're sending people out to these basically raids, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just seems, based on what we've been discussing, that the main army doesn't come from the fortress. Could we not take the fortress as a show of strength?
That too.
also, are we
That's true.
really going to go off trying to kill frost giants when we could enjoy a giant party and make friends?
Well,
That
this
could
is
help
to make
kill a
friends
bunch of-
easier. The party comes soonish.
Well, I say talking to the Wizards College about some protection against cold is definitely a great start.
Yes.
I would have no problem. What time of day is it right now?
You probably landed about midday,
Okay, and
and it's already getting dark.
how long do we estimate travel to the Wizards College to take? A month?
probably through
Okay.
icy tundra, and we're talking about the far, far north. So we're talking about days, and we're talking about right by the winter solstice. So we're talking about days that last maybe an hour,
Okay.
and then you're
Uh,
basically traveling at night.
Right. And how many days do we have until this big barbarian conference?
You have a couple weeks.
A couple weeks. Okay.
Barbarian con.
We cannot complete the tasks before the conference, it seems like.
Yes.
Unless you somehow get some sort of magical travel to go faster.
Yeah.
Even
Let's
if we
put rockets
attack, we
on
might
our
be able to
back.
disrupt the giant forces enough to give them the barbarian tribes a little bit more time to prepare. Well, not prepare, but
Yeah, I think this is one of those traditions that just sort of happens.
Yes. The
They
feast
do
will
the
happen.
whole feast, and they go off to fight the frost giants. Don't think it matters much if we disrupt the frost giant forces.
Okay.
Is there any over-eager frost giants we can kill?
Well, if you just travel north, you'll probably run into barbarian tribes who may or may not try to kill you, and you'll probably run into barbarians.
Okay.
Well, and beating the living shit out of some barbarians should impress the barbarians.
Yeah, this is true. Or make us, not friends.
Depends on who.
No, it's fine. It's gonna be accepted that we killed a few barbarians by everyone who is not a part of the barbarian tribe.
True.
Yeah.
It's simply called self-defense.
Yeah.
But it's also not gonna impress them a lot if you
Well-
want them to unite and run against someone else.
Oh, the problem is that it might happen whether we want it to or not.
Yeah, but then it's just a side note in the greater tale.
Yep.
And the greater tale should be something grand, or else it won't
Barbarian parties
impress
out.
them.
Oh.
And then hence the
Maybe-
king under the mountain came, and upon him beset barbarians, 3,000 apiece, and
Oh, wait.
and we waded through their blood, blah blah blah, and so on.
Exactly. So, do we just want to head to the barbarian party zone and gather some corpses along with us? Our friend Grimlock?
Grimlock?
Grim.
Be a
If we had
Grimlock.
Grimlock, we'd win.
Our friend Grim has a cart. We could just start collecting bodies as a show of force.
Yeah. Well, either way, we could ask around town and see if we actually find out about anything particular going on that we
Right.
can do something about.
Right. Give me an hour, and then he just pushes back and stands up and walks out, with a wolf following him.
Okay,
So,
thanks for listening. We'll be right back with our next episode.